radio presenters have this amazing skill of telling you something. Yeah, crazy, man. And got to a car crash, right? What? Car crash, Melvin? Yeah, mate. Got to a car crash. No way. Literally, just broke off literally my arm. But I'm here today and I'm going to run some tracks. Let's get straight into it. You're like, what?
It's literally that.
How you been yourself, though? You all right?
I'm good. It's busy. Because
Yeah.
after the jungle, it's kind of changed everything. Last year was dead, TV-wise. So radio was good and then DJing was fine. But TV, I think I did a few game shows and then I did a show for E4 called Cooking School. After that, Mo, nothing.
Is it?
Nothing. That's why people like yourself, OT, you guys were all blessed because you were on big shows, which they're never gonna cancel them. But TV was dead. So doing the jungle, because I was scared, bro.
Yeah.
I had to force myself to do it. My agents put me forward and didn't tell me because I've been saying no for a few years.
Yeah.
But I was like, I've done no TV, so I kind of have to do this to remind people again. And then it's been busy again. So I'm good.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird.
Because, it's that thing where it's just like, we're always blessed to be busy. But when we're not busy, it's when we're like,
what the hell?
Right.
Well, I was questioning it. I was like, how long can this go on for? I've got a friend called Andrew Davis. I'd love you to meet him, right?
Yeah.
He is, we worked together at One Extra. Before we was on Kiss and Radio 1, we were broadcast assistants at One Extra, right? And this guy's just so clever. So he started working for MySpace years ago. And he came up with this thing called the hookup. That's how Charlie Sloth first blew up.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So Andrew was having lunch with me and Ricky one day. And he said to me, if you and Ricks never had radio, what would you lot do? And I was like, I don't know. And this is before we was DJing. It's before we did like loads of big TV gigs and stuff like that. So that's when I started like thinking about things like property, things like the DJing. Because we used to pay a man to DJ for us and me and Ricky would be on the mic. We'd pay our friend Charlie to DJ. Yeah. Because we couldn't DJ.
Yeah.
And then Andrew was like, you need to learn how to DJ and then get your finger in other pies.
Yeah.
So that's
because I didn't know you're from West London.
Nah.
You're not from West London?
No, I'm North.
Did you grow up in Hammersmith though, right?
So weirdly enough, I was born in Cricklewood. So it's
really?
Weird, it's weird that you said that. Yeah, no one would know that.
Okay.
Unless you've got some deep researchers.
Hey, so we work here, man.
That's deep. Yeah. So I was born in Cricklewood.
Okay.
Then lived in Seven Sisters.
Okay.
When I was a baby, then we moved to Edmonton.
So so you're north through and through.
North, yeah.
That is the whole. That's from Northwest.
Yeah, I have no business in South.
And when you say Seven Sisters, that is North London's Peckham. Like that is Tottenham is the front line. You know?
Yeah. me and my cousin used to play on St Anne's Road.
Yeah.
We all used to kind of like just hang out around that area.
Okay.
My first job was on Wood Green High Road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In a shoe shop.
I bet it still looked how it did back then, innit? That place has not changed, you know.
My dad used to work on that road.
Yeah.
He used to do like accessories, like curtains and all that stuff.
Yeah,
he was the manager
of
the store. And so that was like our main stomping ground.
Your dad's Ghanaian, yeah?
Yeah, everyone's Ghanaian, fully blood.
So like, wasn't your dad like a producer or something like this?
So dad has always been in retail.
Okay.
So do you remember Paul Simon?
Paul Simon?
Yeah.
Is that like a shirt shop?
So they do like, no, you're thinking of Paul Smith.
Okay.
So Paul Simon do like blinds, curtains, the bedding,
a bit
all
like
that
Laura
stuff.
Ashley.
Basically like that.
Yeah.
So he used to work for them. And then he used to work in like big supermarkets, like manager of supermarkets. And then my mum was a seamstress, and so she'd work from home. And then she's a care worker now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So like your family have really, that's like real graft.
Oh yeah. Their graft. Any graft I have comes from them. They hustle. My mum is the biggest hustler, and my dad, even when he retired, he was still like, he'll come to the house and he'll be like, I'm coming to do the ironing for you. Ensure that everything is washed for me. I'm like, Dad, you can just chill in the house. You know? And he's like, no, I have to be busy. Yeah. So he'll come, he'll clean all the windows. He does all the cleaning in the kitchen. I'll come home and everything is ironed. Yeah. My bedding's done. He's folded everything, put it on the bed. He can't relax. Okay. Even now, he's at my sister's now, looking after the kids. Yeah. He can't relax. He always has to work.
I feel like there is such a similarity of Jamaicans and Ghanaians.
You think? I feel like Jamaicans and Nigerians.
I think Ghanaians, you know.
Really?
I feel like Jamaicans and Ghanaians, we are so close. But you know what it is? It's weird because I feel like the similarities of my Ghanaian friends, especially the household-wise, is so similar to a Jamaican household, but our attitudes are very similar to Nigerians.
I didn't want to say. I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to get into it, but
because Ghanaian attitudes, and I'm just basing this off like my friends and their upbringing and going to their, it's very relaxed, very chill vibes. Do you know what I mean? There's no, like, if someone's mum has got a problem with you, you'll never know.
we're like, Ghanaians, I say, are like passive aggressive.
Yeah, but it's quite small island.
Yeah.
Like the vibes are very like, because my dad's St. Lucian, so
okay.
The vibe is very small islandish.
100%.
But Nigerians and Jamaicans, we think we are the best.
But I feel like you have the same hustle. I feel like Nigerians.
I just think that's a black hustle, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I know what you mean that there is a hustle in like.
There's a passion in it. It's a different kind of hustle.
Yeah, man. Me carry all of the juice from this small mountain all of the way by myself. Ronald Smith's son. You're like, all right, calm down, relax, man. And then so you went university as well, innit?
Yeah. So that's where I met Ricks.
Okay.
So we went to Luton. It's now called University of Bedfordshire.
Yeah.
And I went there because I couldn't get into the unis that I basically selected. I didn't get the grades, so I went through clearing.
Okay.
And it was the best thing that happened to me.
Oh, wow.
Because I met Ricks and we had exactly the same goal, same passion. And I met like 4 other guys who are like Ricky, but they just don't do radio. Okay. And we all lived in a house together and we're like brothers. Do you know how your boys are?
Yeah.
I remember there was something beautiful years ago. You did something. I came to one of your shows and then afterwards you went on holiday with all your boys. And
oh, yeah, we all went to LA.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, you lot remind me of my boys.
Yeah.
Because I'm like godfather to some of them. Like yesterday, one of my boys had a little one and he sends it to, we've got like a group together.
Yeah.
And we're all so close. Like I can call them up and be like, can you do this? And they've got my back.
Yeah.
When I come to your events, I see that.
Yeah.
And so there's another 4 Rickies. And then I've got my boys from school. And then I've got my cousin. And so we're like this little unit.
Okay.
And so it was the best thing going to Luton because it kind of broadened the unit. But yeah, we did radio and media performance. And that's kind of how I ended up kind of getting into the kind of whole radio thing. Because I wanted to be an actor at one point.
Yeah.
And then I just messed up my A-levels. I got really scared and nervous and messed up my final project. And then I was like, well, what's the next best thing to do? And then I thought, okay, I can maybe do presenting. And Richard Blackwood, who I know you know, he was just on MTV. And I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
Richard's always been a mad supporter. Whenever I do these kind of things, I always big him up. And Trevor Nelson's bored about how many times I big him up because there weren't many people doing it at the time. So those are the people that I watched and just kind of made me feel like I can do the same thing.
So your beginning is interesting because obviously growing up in like a Ghanaian household, I know it's very much got to go university, doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Well, I didn't want to do uni.
Do you know what I mean? So you didn't want to do university?
No, I said to
How
Mum,
does that work though in a Ghanaian household? Because I feel like...
You know how it works because I said to Mum, can I go to the drama school? I had to beg her to do the A-levels. And then when I got the C, she was like, okay, I gave you a chance. My drama teacher, Mrs. Christopher, had to beg my mum. Yeah. And then so when I got the C, she was like, well, I kind of gave you the chance and you didn't get the grades, so you have to go to university. She was like, you have to go.
Yeah.
But mums know best.
Yeah,
because like I said, if I didn't go, I wouldn't have met Ricky. There would be no Ricky, Melvin and Charlie. You see what I'm saying? So I remember the biggest challenge for me was when I came home from uni because I was more broke than when I started and I wasn't working. And so Mum was like, why don't you go and get a job in like NatWest Bank or something? And I was like, no. I was like, Mum, please, like I really believe in this. I think this can happen. And at the time, I used to be upset because I thought Mum didn't believe in me, but it wasn't that. She was protecting me. Because for her, there was no one on TV. Like you had Trevor McDonald, and you had Lenny Henry. Yeah. So she was like, "Why are you Why are you, Melvin, my boy from Edmonton, gonna now end up on television?" Yeah. So she was like, "Just get a normal job. Like, be like your uncle. He's working for the NHS, or be like your dad. He's working in retail." And I was just like, "No, I'm gonna keep pushing." And then I remember me and Ricks, we did like a demo tape, like a little show reel. And we were in my bedroom at the time and she came in and she saw us like writing these scripts. We did like a makeover show. And we got like Ricky's ex to be like one of these like someone in the street that we would just make over. We pretended like just made up the whole thing. And my mum was like, I can see you guys are serious. You're gonna make it. And that's when I was like, okay, Mum believes it now.
Yeah.
And then that was the show reel that a boss at Kiss saw, and that's how we ended up at Kiss.
Oh wow,
bro! So everything for a reason, and that obviously now she sees the paycheck. Now Mum's like, I need this. I want a holiday to Dubai. So now Mum's the biggest fan in the world. Do you know what I mean? And
the biggest supporter.
The biggest supporter. But to get to that stage, it took a while, and I think it was because she was just trying to protect us.
So where does your love of like performance come into it? Because if your uncle worked for the NHS, your dad worked in retail as a grafter. Your mum is very like, I want you to go on the educational path, which I feel like, any black mum is just gonna be on that path anyway. Do you know what I mean? So where is the love of wanting to perform? Like, where is that seed being planted, if that makes sense?
I've said this before. My earliest memory, Mo, and I actually wanted to speak to you about this. My earliest memory was I was at a family party. Yeah. My cousin David and my cousin Jackie, right? And there were all these kids. When you get banished to your bedroom. Yeah. So it's your party. It's like someone's birthday. All the adults are downstairs in the front room, and you're banished in a room somewhere, right? And I can't remember. I used to do these impressions of Chris Eubank. Don't ask me to do it now because I can't do it.
Yeah.
And I used to just make my cousins laugh. And I was like, I like this feeling of making people smile and telling someone a story and making them happy. I just loved that feeling. Yeah. And so I was like, what can I do in life to give people that feeling? Whether it's presenting, whether it's DJing, whether it's acting, I just love that feeling. And so I think that's where my first kind of like taste of performance came from. Yeah. And so I wanted to ask you, like, when did you go, right, I wanted to start making people laugh? I went to what's his name? Manny Norte had a party once, and you came super late, Mo. I don't know if you remember this. This was in East London, right? You came late, like the party was done, and you came in, and then you were in the lift, and there was like 20 of us in this lift.
Yeah.
And you were just saying some mad stuff, but you were so funny. You were making the whole lift laugh. And it was before I knew you was a comedian. And I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah. And
I was just like, you're just born to be a comedian. You probably don't even remember, bro.
I don't remember. Wait, I think I remember.
It was like something like The Curtain or something like that.
Oh, The Curtain.
And they used to call it Gorgon City. And you were just making everyone laugh. And I was like, who is this guy? And then I went to an award show afterwards. And then after that, you was gone. You was doing stuff with Nasty and all this stuff. And then you just gone clear. But I was just remember thinking, I wonder what was your first thing to make you go, I want to be a comedian. I know I'm not asking you now.
No. I think it's interesting about you mentioning that. That was in Shoreditch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That party.
Yeah. Do you remember?
I vaguely remember those Manny Naughty parties because they were a vibe.
Yeah,
and I remember I'd go there, and I think it was at a time when I was just like doing some stuff on social media. So you first start getting invited to these things, and you're like, oh, all right, well, must be doing something right. I got invited. I'd see people like yourself there. I'd see J2K there.
Yes.
And I'd be like, oh, Rod, there's some cool people here, man. I'm invited with these lot. So it was always a vibe of like being there. But also once like your peers like kind of rate you or invite you to a thing, you're like, oh, wow, I'm involved now, innit? Yeah. So I never had any fear of, I didn't feel like I needed to entertain. But if I was in the lift, I'd be like, well...
But I don't think you did it as you weren't trying to entertain people. You were just busting jokes.
Oh no, that's just me still. Because do you know what it is? Like once I'm comfortable, and I think that was the thing of like, once my peers would invite me to these things, I'm like, oh, I feel comfortable. I feel like these are people that I've always known, but also knowing that like, I don't know these people, but I know them in a sense of, we probably grew up in the same areas or environments, but now we're in a place where, you know, like those parties, those early parties, what I used to love, and I've been to a few of them, is that everyone felt like they could let their hair down. And everyone could essentially be like, yeah, like this is our thing. Yeah. This isn't like, you know, a bougie West End club where you're trying to get in. And I get the hostility when you're in the queue trying to get in. Hey, well, go on, you cool, yeah? Hey, yeah, can you get? And you're like, bro, please, man.
We've been there too many
We're just
times.
about getting in.
Yeah, we've been there.
And you know already they're not, okay, cool, how many? There's 6. And you see someone and you're like, I know you're trying.
Mo, for that reason, we started doing parties.
Yeah.
We started doing parties.
And I remember going to a party, Reggie Yates's parties.
His ones were called Trading Places.
Trading Places.
Yeah.
So going to Manny Norte's was like, I've been to one of these before.
Yeah.
We had Estelle recently on the pod, and it was like, those parties were my first taste of like, these are people that I know their music. I've seen them on television. I've seen them as presenters, but it was my first taste of where everyone's just relaxed here. There's no ego. It's just a vibe. And yes, it was industry in a sense of like, you needed to know someone to get in.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it.
Yeah,
it felt like I'd won the golden ticket in a sense of like, I know someone.
But it did feel special when you were there.
Yeah, because even when you were there, it was like, yeah, you're meant to be here. And don't get me wrong, there is a part of it where you're like, I see why it's closed off.
Yeah.
But I get it because everyone can be themselves. There's no passer trying to get in.
Yeah.
There's no guys on the table that are doing too much.
Yeah.
It's not hood.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love some of the hood stuff, but it's not every day.
Yeah.
We must go there being like, let me leave, man. It's going to kick off.
Yeah.
You, man, good to see you. Yeah? Take care. Because them lot are going to fight. And I think that was it. Go into something where I could just be myself and I can bust joke. But going back to your question, I think for me when I was young, I felt like it's that same comfortability when you're around your family and you can be your real authentic self, and they will only laugh if you're funny.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Your family and your friends.
But you know that, because I was talking to someone about this the other day, and I was like, your generation is mad lucky. I know you're not.
Oh yeah, no, I agree still. Social media is...
Because you're allowed to be yourself. Yeah, you're allowed to be yourself. Whereas I'm myself, and me and Rix are ourselves, but we have to be a palatable version of ourselves.
Yes, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
So Middle England feel comfortable. Yeah. 100%, man.
So like, I'm always like, you lot are so lucky.
Yeah.
So lucky. But I'm happy though, because people like our Trevors and people like your Richards and stuff like that have allowed us, and allowed you guys to be yourselves, which I think is so beautiful.
So like, you then start off doing children's television, right?
Yeah, Dick and Dom in the Bungalow.
What was that like? Because I feel like as an entry point into the world of, entertainment, kids TV, you have to be prepared to be wacky. I done a little bit of it on CBBC.
What did you do?
I was on a show called Johnny and Neil Show. They had a kids show and they do characters. Right. But within their characters, they had a TV set. So we had a fake producer, we had a fake director, and we had a fake runner. But my name was my name, innit?
Right.
So I was like a runner called Mo. And it'd be like, hey, Mo, so I might feature in a few sketches. And I remember one time I do some electric dance. It was like, Mo, man. And I was like, I had to do this thing.
You don't go straight to Google after this.
I know, that's not on there still.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, no, that got wiped off.
Your PR is amazing.
We wiped that off, bro. But I never forget, and this is why I say, children's TV is so humbling, but you have to like, whatever ego you got, because they had me doing something where, throughout the show, you did like, cool, we got you doing this bit, that bit. And I'm like, oh, this is fine, this is vibes. And then it was like, yeah, we've got this electric dance where we want you, and it's like electric, but like, yeah, you got to, and they were like, well, I was like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, yeah, but you're electrocuted, but it's like, cool. And I was like, so then I went like this, and I was like, that's it! I was like, I know why I'm here now, innit?
Electric
I know
dance.
the box I have to tick now, innit?
Oh my days.
Don't get me wrong, it was a vibe, but I said, listen, none of my friends need to really see this.
So it's mad you say that. So Dick and Dom was my first ever entry.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best things I ever did.
Oh, no. It's so fun. Right? So fun. It doesn't feel like a job.
For me, it was like, we'd turn up in the studio and my producer would be like, you need to dress up as this, Melvin. And I never questioned it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was someone's dad. Yeah. Sometimes I was a werewolf.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was an old woman. I never questioned it. I would just turn up, do my thing, and then come off set. And that show won several kids' BAFTAs.
Yeah.
That show is historical. And Richard and Dom.
I met them. I remember when I met them, I was so gassed, man.
They're legends, and they're the nicest boys ever. And they were my introduction to how you broadcast and how you present, because those boys were dealing with kids on live TV for like 4 hours every weekend. People think it's light work.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not easy, bro.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd watch what they do, and I was secretly learning every single day. And there were other actors on the show who were like, they were trained actors. They went to like RADA and places like that. They were really like top of their game, and they'll give me kind of tips and stuff. And our producer is a guy called Steve Ride, and he's a genius, Mo. He's an absolute genius. The guy used to come up with ideas and concepts, and he was the heart of the show.
Yeah.
So in our ears, he'd say stuff, and the audience would never hear it. Sometimes it was too rude for the audience, but he would make us laugh.
Yeah.
So we were constantly happy.
Yeah, it looks so fun.
It was fun, bro. It was fun.
As a show, I seen a clip recently where the girl doesn't win the prize, and them two are just laughing in her face.
Yeah.
And everyone keeps saying, "Oh, you couldn't do this now." And I'm like, look, there's a ton of TV that you couldn't do now. There's a lot of songs couldn't play now. But you're like, for that time, and that was it for its decade.
It's the pinnacle.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was so funny. I remember the game Bogies. You remember that?
Bruv, it was a massive game. Now, I see influencers doing it now.
Yeah.
Like Beta Squad or something, doing the same thing. And you know that Dick and Dom now do a live version of it.
Is it?
On the stage.
Yeah.
They took it on tour, and now their viewers have turned into like young adults, and they do like drum and bass raves. It's wild. It's wild. But I'm so happy for them, because for me, they're my legends. They're my TV legends.
Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? So like learning from them, and then having, you know, one of your best friends in Ricky, was that almost like a version of seeing how essentially they could be themselves but be entertaining? Was that great? Was that a great way of like, because I guess, you know, whenever you work with someone, it's also knowing you're like, okay, this is my role and that's your role. Yeah. In some ways. Do you know what I mean? Someone's a straight person, someone's a funny person, but also with being friends, did it give you I've got my person I can work with, where, you know. I think they were the essence of a duo. Do you know what I mean? I think duos I think the ones you believe are the ones that are real. Yeah, do you know what I mean? There's some people who are thrown together. Dawn and French, Ant and Deck. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Ant and Deck, my God. Like those guys, to watch them work. Oh, they're the best. Oh, next level. They're next level. Yeah. So like Richard and Dominic, they're really similar in that. So, and my thing is, throughout my career, because before we was on air, we were broadcast assistants. We used to work in production. And when I do stuff, I'm always watching. People just think I'm there. Like I'm watching you, Mo. Do you mean I watch everyone, anyone I work with, I go, I quite like that, what they did there. Everyone, literally everyone. Because I think if you take enough time to analyse someone, you'll find something that's beautiful from that person, which you can adapt to your own life. And so for me, Dick and Dom, I just loved how, like you said, the dynamic, you had the straight man, you had the one that was a little bit angry sometimes. Yeah. And with me and Ricks, the reason I love working with Ricky is I trust him. I trust that boy. And he will know before I even end a sentence how I'm going to end it, and then he straight into the next thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like he knows already where I'm going to go before I finish the sentence. So when I always say when I work with Ricky, it doesn't feel like work. When you do stuff by yourself, then you got to go to work. Yeah. But when it's with Ricky, it's kind of like a party. And with you guys working on radio as well, it must have been so fun where like you're on radio with because, you know, there's a lot of people that have a show by themselves. And I've tried to do a bit of radio, you know, I've tried to learn how to drive the desk and everything else. Big up the people at One Extra had me in and be like, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's not a game. It's not but Mo, a game, man. I've been doing it for time, and like even I find it different, like presenting by myself. And I think you're very similar to me in that you like communicating with people. Oh yeah. That's you can your always thing. Bounce off of a person or what a vibe is. But I feel like when you was doing radio with Ricky, I felt like there's something really special about those early 2000s where it was the rise of, you know, digital radio as well. It was the rise of YouTube and radio. So you got to see your personalities that you listen to every morning, every evening. And then you being alongside Ricky as well, and then with Charlie as well, it always felt like you're like, I know these people. I listen to them every morning. Anyone who has to do those long drives in the morning or from at night time, and you're like, these are essentially my friends that I listen to, and you start knowing their personalities. But people forget how hard radio really is. Did you start off at radio? Was it One Extra?
So we started off at One Extra.
Yeah.
But we weren't on air.
Okay.
And we did this competition, me and Rix, and basically it was to create your own radio show. And then we handed it to everyone. We gave it to everyone, and no one was interested.
Really?
No one was interested at the time. And then our agent got us in a meeting with a guy at KISS, and he was like, I'm going to give you a chance. And he put us on Weekend Breakfast. No one listened, bro. Like, literally, it's like our family list. No one was listening. No one knew who we were. Yeah. And then he was like, I want you to cover the guy who I'm taking off Breakfast, right? So we covered the Breakfast guy, and then the figures went up. And then they were like, you just stay on. Just stay there.
Yeah.
It was all an accident. It was just a very lucky accident. And Charlie was there beforehand because she was working across all the Breakfast shows. And then she kind of came together with us, and then everyone was like, this is it.
Yeah.
It's everything, that's what I'm saying, everything for a reason. In life, I always just go, okay, even if it feels uncomfortable, there's a reason why I'm doing this. That's just always.
How hard is it doing a breakfast show? Because there's a few people I know who've had breakfast shows, you know, Dottie, and then you've got, I remember when Twin B had a breakfast show. How hard really is it? Because I feel like anytime I see someone at an event and it's past 10 o'clock and I know they got a breakfast show, I'm like, yo, you better get home, bro.
Bro.
How hard? Because how long did you do it for?
12 years.
12 years?
We did Breakfast for 12 years. And then obviously we've been at Radio 1 for several years. So we've been doing radio for over 16 years.
Yeah, right? Man.
Breakfast is no joke if you're doing it well. And for me, like, it's funny. I remember my producer always used to say to me, Melvin, you're never going to find a girlfriend until you finish Breakfast. Because I love my sleep. And I'll go on a date and it'll come to like 9, 10 and I'm yawning at the dinner table. Like, I can't wait to go to sleep. Like, I love it. And like, if you start dating someone, like, you're out the door by 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you're either asking someone to leave with you or you're leaving them in the house. And I don't trust no one in my house.
Yeah.
So like, trying to find, it's true. I'm telling you the truth, bro.
Because I messaged you the other day about a cleaner, innit?
Yeah. Mo was like, Melvin, do you have a cleaner? And I said, bro, I don't trust people in my house. So I'm not going to recommend that person to you. So like, a lot of the time you're asking people to leave at 4:30 in the morning when you're leaving for work. So to find someone that you love is difficult. It's really difficult. But it's, in terms of radio, it's the best slot ever because that's what everyone listens to Breakfast. And then also, once you finish, you're opened up to do everything else. You can do TV stuff, you can do other branding deals, you can do stuff afterwards. So in terms of radio and your career, it's the best thing to do. But in terms of your personal lifestyle, it has a massive impact.
And what was it like during those early 2000s at KISS? Because some of the clips and the guests you have, and I think that's the beautiful thing with radio is you're going to get guests that even TV aren't going to get. Because radio is always going to be the first point of call to get someone for, 15 minutes of their time, promote the film, have a quick chat, then they're off in the next building doing another piece of promo. I seen your clip that keeps doing the rounds with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's mad that you've seen that.
Yeah. I seen that clip. It's done. It keeps doing the rounds where I think you ask him, how did you make your first million? And he goes, it was good, but I said you have to work on your second million. And he goes, come on, guys. It's so funny.
And, bro, at the time, we thought he was being so serious. And it's Arnie, like, he's one of our heroes.
Yeah, man, of course.
So I was there listening, thinking, okay, and we're all going, we want to make this mill.
Yeah.
And that is funny because I've always wanted to reshare that. But obviously, we've gone to a different network now. So it wouldn't be in my best interest to reshare that on my page.
Smart. That's good business, man.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you mean, like, Radio 1 is our home now, and we're so blessed to be there. It's a massive station. I personally think it's the biggest station. It's mad me sitting here saying this. It's the biggest station in the country. And so, I'm very protective of that. But our time at KISS was special, man.
Yeah, man.
Because that was our break. That was really our break.
Yeah.
And it's funny, Mo, because I don't think we realised how lucky we were to be on that show. Because when we left, I get people in the street going, you've ruined my mornings.
Oh, wow.
Where have you gone? Because you kind of forget how people were learning.
You guys were iconic on that show.
We were, and we didn't realise. We just didn't realise because we were just having fun. We just turn up, We do radio, and there'll be a point when someone will say to me in the future, Melvin, I loved you on Radio 1. Someone will say that to me, and I'll be like, oh, right, I didn't realise you had that impact because of. I always say this: radio is such an intimate medium. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's the only medium, as far as I'm concerned, that you can consume while doing something else. You can't watch TV and drive. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, man. You can't watch a TikTok and be at the gym at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Radio, you can do, and you can do something else at the same time. Yeah, yeah. And it's there with you. If the presenters are there every single day, they're your friends. Yeah, you don't turn off the dial in radio when you're driving. No, you just leave it on, and you're like, it's on, because especially if you've got a routine. I drive at 8. I'm gonna catch the show. I'm gonna catch the music. There might be something happened yesterday, and they're gonna talk about it today. And you want to hear their take on it. Do you know what I mean? So I still believe radio is such a beautiful medium, and so I'm blessed to do it. Yeah. But yeah, Kiss was a special time, bro. Special time. And sometimes we've got old clips that we come across, and it's just us laughing. Yeah. It's just us lot laughing. So weird. And we were lucky that we met, like Will Smith, one of my favourite interviews of all time. That was at Kiss. Arnie, like you said, Rihanna. Do you know what I mean? Some big names. So yeah. Was there anyone you were truly like starstruck in the way we are like? Denzel. Really? Denzel was the one, bro. Because he makes you feel like, the strict uncle. So he walks in and you ask questions and you're like, I can't get this wrong. Oh my God. Because it's Denzel. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But he was so cool. And it feels like every answer feels so wise. It's weird, bro. And I remember that day, he came in and he had this leather jacket. And at that time, me and Rich were obsessed with leather bomber jackets. We all had leather jackets and they were all grey. So we took this picture and we looked like we was like some boy band from the 90s. It was, I've still got it somewhere, but that was the one where I was like, I felt nervous. I felt nervous, bro. Yeah. Yeah. What's it like once you start doing that show and you get thrusted into the limelight in some ways where, because, you grew up from like very humble beginnings and, like, how does your mum then start reacting? Because you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but I guess on top of doing a breakfast show, being extremely successful and being, two young black guys, within the industry where you have fame and I guess because it's radio, it's linked with, music. So there's, music events are always going to be late and stuff. How was that as well at such a young age as well? I never see myself as famous. Nah, you're famous, bro. No, I think people know who we are. Nah, I don't know about that, bro. I think people know who we are. You've been on Strictly, bro. What are you talking about? Do you know what it is, Mo? It's like I've got this theory, right? If I can get to work from my house and no one stopped me while I'm on public transport, you're not famous. No, but that's London, though. No. London is we keep our head down, man. No, because my argument is if it was Will Smith, he ain't getting to work without someone stopping him. Yeah, right? But you have to believe in your sauce, Melvin. No, my sauce is beautiful. It's a lovely texture. It's got the right amount of spice. But I don't think I'm famous. I think we're fun broadcasters and I think we're good at what we do, but I don't think I'm famous. I think people know who we are. Man. Really? Yeah, man. Nah. Bro, I grew up watching you, man, on television, bruv. I remember one time I see Ricky in the O2. I can't remember what show it was. And I know, like, he done that walk where you're like, I'm on the phone, I'm going straight. I know. And I see him, I said, "Hi, Ricky." He was like, "Yeah, cool." And I was like, "Oh, all right." But he probably didn't even clock it was you. No, I know he didn't. Right. But I was like, I know that, I do that walk now. Yeah. Where I'm like, I've got to get to the destination. No. But also, I feel like, with you guys, I feel like you might be downplaying it, but also it was I feel like for us, watching you lot, it was like, these man, they're like, when you're doing those. But I think part of our appeal, Mo, is that I always say we're touchable, we're approachable. Yes, I agree. So that's why I say I don't think I'm not the kind of guy who will demand. I ask for very little, and again, I don't think, and maybe it's because of, like I said, we've got that unit, like my boys. Like, I was at my aunt's birthday the other day and my cousins are just so chill. It's not like, Melvin, who did you meet this week? Or can you get me tickets? They're just so, it's just like, how I was when I was a little kid
Yeah.
at my mum and dad's house years ago. And so for me, I don't feel famous. That's how I feel.
Yeah, because everyone around you never make you feel.
And also because
any
I've
kind of
met, in my opinion, people who I regard as famous.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington is famous.
Yes.
Rihanna is famous. So I think I'm very good at, I'm good at what I do, and I think people enjoy what we do, but I don't think I'm famous.
No, I would disagree, man. Because you're on things like Strictly and stuff. Not everyone gets on Strictly.
If that's your argument, then everyone who's done Strictly is famous.
Yeah, of course.
Nah, because
we're not voting for them for no other reason. You know?
I don't think every single person who's done Strictly you can regard as famous.
100%.
Really?
Do you know how big that show is? When BBC told me the figures, and they said, yeah, every week, 6 mil. And they said it without blinking.
But there's people who've done that show who you've not heard from in years.
That is true. But then I feel like I feel like my perception of fame, I feel like if you're on a television show,
right,
especially where it's, a show like a Strictly, and whether you could be a big author, I might not know you, but in your field, you are huge. So you to be on this show, and like every show that comes on, people are like, who? And I'm like, the fact you are asking who, that means they are a someone.
Yeah.
If you sit there and you said, oh, who is this? You're like, you need to do more to expand who the person is.
I suppose everyone's
saying?
Everyone's got their definition of fame, I suppose.
Yeah, I think for me, my perception has always been very old school in a sense of anyone that's on television. So I remember one time I seen a news presenter one time in Sainsbury's. I said, Mom, that's that famous one from the news. from the news. And she wasn't in the big news. Like the news that comes on after.
Oh, right.
Like the London news. But as a kid, that was it. You're on television, you're on a public medium that we tune in for, and you're a recognized face. And that was even for me as a kid. So I think it always goes back to that, if that makes sense. For me, it's just like, especially because I think I grew up in the era of, if you've seen someone famous, the autograph era.
Okay, then let me ask you another question then, Mo. Because if it's down the TV route, then everyone who's done reality TV is famous to you.
In a sense, yeah. Because I feel like if you're a recognised face on this programme,
then you're famous.
Because, you're famous because in a sense of your personality is what is got you there.
Okay.
So it's a level of fame where, people will disagree and say, yeah, but they're not talented. But I'm like, to have that personality doesn't just come out of nothing.
For me,
do you know what I mean?
Fame is if you can be in a space in several different spaces. So you can go to Scotland and you can go to London and be clocked. Then for me, you're famous. If you can go to if you can go to Spain and you're clocked by the Spanish locals, for me, you're famous. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's I class that as like superstar.
Okay, all right. Okay, so there's fame and then superstar.
But when you're a superstar, brother, the world moves in a different way.
Pace. Okay.
Because superstar is like, wow, Madame Two Swords has your figurine.
Yeah.
When you're famous, you ain't no Madame Two Swords, you know? Yeah. You're like, oh, that's my man from Gogglebox. Big up your things.
All right, so I'm famous, but not superstar.
I wouldn't even regard myself as superstar. Okay, superstar is like the level where you're like
a Kardashian.
It's on a film. Okay. We don't even know what the film is. I've not seen the trailer. Denzel's in it.
Right.
Superstar.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just like,
so the star's bigger than the film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not just a star. It's a superstar. It's like you get the meal. They upgrade the meal, but there's fries at the bottom of the bag. There's fries in the bag. There's a reason why this is the super meal. Because your thing is medium, and it's just about the chips, you can take it out. But the super one, you got enough chips in there.
Extra.
The drink is so big. You said, right, I save this drink for tomorrow. How do we get here?
The analogy is wild. It's wild. Oh my days. Okay. All right. No, I'm enjoying the breakdown. It's an education.
What was Strictly like though, man?
Strictly was, it was, do you know my Strictly story?
No.
All right. So I'm going to do it super quick.
Yeah, go on.
So I was I begged to be in that show, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, Melv, you're not famous yet.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think I was just doing breakfast at the time. So the amazing woman called Vinay was like, Melv, go back, do your thing, and then come to me in a few years' time. I went and did a gig in Blackpool when they were doing a tour around there.
Yeah.
And I went to my hotel and all the dancers, all the celebrities were staying in my hotel. And bro, they looked like superheroes.
Yeah.
And it was the year when it's like Mark Wright doing it. It was Frankie Bridge. It was a younger kind of like cast. And I messaged my agent. I said, please, can you get me on this show? So they were like, okay, Melvin, okay, you might be ready. So I did an audition. I did it. My whole family was so proud of me. Like everyone. I had the guys from Dick and Don messaging me. People were placing bets on me to try.
I remember when
to
it was
win
on
this
television.
show, right?
Yeah, man.
And so on the first week, I was in the bottom 2. And the person I was up against was Anastasia, right? And she injured herself. It was quite a serious injury. And she was like, I don't really want to do the dance-off. So we couldn't do a dance-off. So I got eliminated based on public vote. And I was devastated, Mo. Because it's the first time where, obviously, when you was on like radio and stuff, like your friends, like who you grew up with and your peers and stuff, they're all listening. But like the elders, like mum, I don't think my mum would really listen to me on the radio. But Strictly, oh my God,
Strictly, that's what I'm saying.
Aunts, uncles,
famous. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
man.
So yeah, you're right. So they cared, and so Vinay messaged me, and she was like one of the execs of the BBC. She said, Melvin, you didn't really get a chance to showcase yourself. So do you want to come back and do the Christmas special? And I was like, I don't really want to like mess up again. Like I kind of felt embarrassed. And she's like, why? And she goes, it wasn't your fault. Like you just didn't even get a chance. You did literally like 2 weeks here.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And I said, let me think about it. And I called my sister. I'm really close to my sister, right? She's just the wise person in the family. And I told her, and she said, you have to do it. And I was like, why? She goes, because you're my brother and you will smash it. She goes, I know you'll succeed. And I was like, the belief was mad, right? And I was dancing with Jeanette Manrara at the time. And I said, as long as I get to do it with Jeanette, I'll do it again. So I called them up. I said, I'll do the Christmas special, but I need to dance with Jeanette. So Jeanette was like, cool. I did my first rehearsal with her for the Christmas special, and we did like a Charleston. And my sister called me up after my practice. She said, how did it go? I said, it was all right. It was fun. This is really good. It's more my personality. And she goes, I'm coming to the house now, right? So she came over to mine, and she goes, show me your video from your rehearsal. I showed her the video, and my sister was proper watching it. And she got up, and she was like, okay, let's practice, right? And I said, what do you mean? She goes, I'm going to try and learn Jeanette's moves, and we'll rehearse every night.
Oh, wow.
Right? We rehearsed every night, and then I won the Christmas special, right? So I lost and won all in the same year, man, right? So my family came round around Christmas, and the show was pre-recorded. So they've all come to my house. They're thinking, "Right, we watched Melvin the first time, and my boy flopped, and now he's trying to do this again."
Yeah.
So all my cousins are sitting in the house, all my aunts, uncles are in the house. Everyone's eating, chilling, and they announced the winner, and they announced it was me, Mo. You would have heard it at your house, the screams and the cheers. And so it was like the proudest moment ever. And prior to that, my mum and dad were cool, but they didn't really talk that much. And so they filmed a VT for Strictly in my house. And I said to my sister, who should I call? Like mum's side or dad's side of the family? And she said both, because they're both sides are going to want to be on TV. And I said, okay, I hope it's not weird on TV. And she's like, no, they'll be cool. So I went and rehearsed with Jeanette, and I came home. It's going to sound weird to you, Mo. I saw my mum and dad changing the bin liner, and it's the best thing I've ever seen. Because I was like, they were working together. Yeah. It's the best thing I've ever seen. And then from that day on, they're mates. Yeah. Like my dad will go to the house and look after my nieces and nephews, and my mum will cook for dad, and my dad will sometimes take mum to the airport. They're friends. And it's weird because I feel like it all kind of snowballed from Strictly. I'm sure like my sister having kids and all that helped as well, but Strictly kind of brought everyone together. So it's a really special show for me. And they used to invite me back. Ricky's done it as well. And I'm friends with like people like Oti and Neil, and I stay in contact with a lot of the dancers and a lot of the celebrities I stay in contact with as well. So it was that show, it's a special show, bro. It's such a beautiful show. And all the different areas, like the musicians, dope, hair and makeup, dope, the people in costume, like everyone in their area, they're so good at what they do, but they all work together beautifully. Like it's really hard to describe. And you are in this bubble because you don't really see anyone else until the weekend when you do the rehearsal and your performance. So in the week, you're with your partner in a room somewhere practicing. So that little weekend, it feels like such a special occasion. And that's why I was so sad when I left early when I did the main show. And it was really hard for me to do the Christmas special, but it's one of the best things I've ever done.
Because you've been really like blessed in the sense of being able to do radio and television at the same time, which normally anyone I know who works in radio is their main thing. So it's quite hard for them to do television at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like you've done, Extra Factor, Bang on the Money, at the MOBO Awards.
Yeah.
How much time do you get for Melvin? Do you know what I mean? And
it's funny, boy.
And enjoy and just sit and be still. Do you know what I mean?
That's funny. Mo, you know how it is, boy.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
like when you get these offers and you get, people want you to do stuff, it's hard to turn it down. Last year was a quiet year in terms of TV. I think the whole industry was kind of like hit by it. And so I was so lucky that I was doing radio and DJing and we had branding stuff going on. But TV felt like, what's going on now? Which is why I ended up doing The Jungle. Yeah, man. Because for a few years I was like, I don't know, because I'm scared. I was scared of the whole animal thing, the whole eating thing. And so for a few years I've been like, they've asked me and I'm like, I'm not too sure about it. But last year when my agents were like, Melv, do you want to do this? I was like, okay. That's because I was like, I think I need to remind people that I'm here, the TV world, that I'm here. And so it was one of the best things that I did, because I think when you get pushed out of your comfort zone, the lessons you learn are crazy. And I obviously knew people like OT and Danny and stuff like that, but you form different relationships out there, Mo. I can't describe what it's like in that place, because I found it hard. Some days I was crying because I'm a proper foodie. I'm a foodie, bro. And the lack of seasoning every single day to have the same meal, it's different. Like, but I would love to see someone like you do The Jungle.
No, I break down.
But the entertainment levels would be through.
Oh no, I would break down, because they've asked me a few times.
They must do every single year.
I've said nah. Do you know why? Because like me, I like my food. I can't deal with the insects.
But you know,
the insects.
I had Barry McGugan sleeping next to me at one point, and I had this huntsman spider, no word of a lie, on my bed.
Fuck that, man.
And I remember like Barry, he was dread. So like I'd be like, I can't sleep, and he used to come just pat the thing off, and I'd be like, okay. And because if you don't sleep, then you have no energy. You're already hungry. You're already hungry. So you learn that's not the hard stuff. It's the eating that's the hard stuff. But
what do you have to eat?
Because if you don't get no stars, then you just have to have rice and beans. Rice and beans. So you literally boil rice and beans with no seasoning, no salt. I got in trouble for bringing in salt.
Really?
Yeah, because I tried to smuggle it into my boxer shorts.
Say swear.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. I brought in salt.
Yeah.
And they found it out because I gave it to Lisa.
Yeah.
To try and put it into the food because she was our cook.
Yeah.
And then they were like, you can't smuggle anything in, any contraband. Salt, bro.
That is mad.
Imagine that. I would. The thing is, I think people think it's fake, that show. It's the real. It's the real. They really want you to experience that. So then you work hard in the trials and the challenges, right? But I would love to get the beans that they have on that show and just cook it for someone the way we had it and make you have it 3 times. Just
really?
To see
is
what
it that bad.
People don't understand. People don't understand.
Yeah.
People don't understand. They have. It's mad. It's wild, bro. It's tough. It's tough. So, but the funny thing is, you know how you said, Melv, I'll break down.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like, because I'm quite a chilled brother. Like, I'm quite a chilled person. And so, like, when I was just being myself and didn't make good television. So it was the times when I broke down. It was the time when I think the thing that everyone comes up to me about was I had a moment when I was in this sleeping bag mode, and it was a really bad night of rain, and so I woke up and my sleeping bag was wet.
Yeah, I think
and I was just balling up the place. So the next day I was moody for the whole day. I didn't want to sit with no one. I didn't want to sit by the fireplace. So I went up to this little cabin bit because I assumed there was less cameras there. So I was trying to hide from everyone. So everyone came and checked on me. I think like Dean came and checked on me, Maura, Danny, and then the final person was Oti, and she was like Oti felt like my sister, right? She reminds me of my sister. So she sat down and she gave me this talk, and the way it resonated with me was I just started bawling. I was trying to stop. I was hiding my face, trying to stop. But when I came out, the amount of people that have come to me and said, Melv, it was so beautiful seeing you open up, and to see like a young man open up as well. And I was trying to hide it. Yeah. But for the viewers, that was the best part of me in that whole experience. Wow. So I went in there going, I want to try and tell some funny stories and make people laugh and do some foolishness and just get on with everyone. I thought that's what was going to be entertaining. But the stuff that I was trying to hide from everyone turned out to be the best thing.
Ain't it interesting how you let your guard down and you let people in, and that's what people like the most of you, when we're so used to putting the guard up and giving a version of ourselves, which is still ourselves, but I guess is heightened. Yeah. Because, we know what we're sometimes being booked for on a show, so you're like, cool, I know you want this side, you want that side. I don't really have time to get deep on the show when it's, it's would I lie to you? They're expecting comedy and vibes, and you don't want to sit there and be like, okay, well, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a lie. You're like, what? We don't want this one. I'm lying to myself right now. You're like, okay, who else we got?
But also, it's harder for us because I'm comfortable being like Melvin on Radio 1. I'm really comfortable making people laugh and doing foolishness with Ricky and Charlie. Like, that's how I'm comfortable. But no one, I feel like no one wants to see me when I'm vulnerable, like you said. Yeah. But actually, people want to see, if you want to connect with people, they have to see all sides of you. All sides of you. Which is why I think people like what you do, because comedy allows you to do that.
Yeah, no, comedy's definitely my therapy.
Do you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. And I think radio allows you to do that, because it's funny, your producer was like, is there anything you don't want to talk about, Melv? And I was like, I feel like I've already spoken about half of it on the radio already. Because if something interesting happens, even if it's bad, it's still a story. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it can be bad, but radio presenters have this amazing skill of telling you something, and it was like, yeah, crazy, man, and got to a car crash, right? What? Car crash, Melvin? Yeah, mate. Got to a car crash. No way. Literally, just broke off literally my arm. But I'm here today, and I'm going to run some tracks. Let's get straight into it. You're like, what?
It's literally that. It's like, I've seen you and Munya Chihuahua taking the pee, doing radio DJs, and I just comment underneath, and I'm like, I feel attacked, because there's no lies told. You're telling the truth. It's exactly how it is, and it's because of we're speaking. It's almost like you're speaking to your mate. Yeah, man. And so if something deep was to happen, you would tell your mate, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course.
It's a funny one.
Does that become hard in some ways, where I feel like with a radio presenter, you're the first person that someone listens to, whether they're happy, whether they're sad, whether they're going to the biggest job interview of their life, or whether they're maybe going to a funeral. And you're at so many moments of people's lives. It must be nice to have that connection. But how do you find like you're able to still secure your boundaries in a way where what you're going about day-to-day life, and because people feel so connected with you with radio, it's like, hey, what's happening, mate? And you're like, what, bro? Like, because you're such a nice person.
I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you two stories. Yeah. Right? When I was about 14, I'm not going to say the person because I bet you know them. One of my favourite comedians was on the train. Right? And I sat next to them. I was so nervous. And I have not mentioned this comedian today, just so you know. So no one can try and guess this. Yeah. And I said, when I get to my stop, I'm going to get up. I'm going to say, I love your work. And I'm going to come off the train, and hopefully I'm going to get some kind of response. They might even make me laugh. And I got up and I said that, and they just gave me a look like, you're sad. And Mo, when I say it broke my heart, I called my sister, my little sister. I said, I saw this person on the train. And I remember feeling so like, wow, they're everything to me, and they just didn't care. And I remember saying to myself, if I ever get the opportunity to make someone happy because they want to say hello to me or they want a picture, if I have the time, I'll always do it. If you call my friend now, if you call Russell now, he's been out of me a million times. And if you ask Russ, does Melvin take time with people? I bet he'll be like, yeah. Or if he can, he'll always do it. I remember one time I was in Sainsbury's and this woman was like, can I help with your bags? And I was like, okay, cool. So she started packing the bags and stuff. And at the end she goes, you're a lot funnier on the radio. Bro. And I was like, what? Did you expect like a story or a comedy sketch like while we was on aisle 8 of Sainsbury's? I didn't know what I was supposed to do for this woman. But I am always aware that people do enjoy what we do. And so if I am out and about, sometimes, Mo, like people will say hello. And I don't know, I've got quite a bad memory. I don't know if I know them or they're just people that enjoy what we do. But if someone says hello to me, you best believe I'm going to say hello like you're my best friend. Yeah. I always make time. If I can, I remember being late for work one day and a couple were like, Mel, can I get a picture? I was late. And I was like, go on. And I took the picture and I went, if I can, I will try. Because I never want to make anyone feel like 14-year-old me on that train. Okay. I always try. But I feel like a lot of the nice people in the industry are like that. Ricky and Charlie are like that. Like, Will Smith taught me that. We did an interview with Will Smith in the day, like a junket. And then in the evening, I went to the premiere for the film. It was Hancock. He got this little kid to intro the film with him. And then as he left, he remembered me from earlier, came and shook my hand on the front row. And everyone was like, how do you know Will Smith? And I was like, don't worry, I know Big Willie, don't worry. Jesus! Do you know what I mean? But he made me feel so special in that instance. And I was like, if I can make someone feel special the same way, I will try my best. Do you know what I mean?
It's mad how far as well, and that can go for someone else that you must have also had people that, I remember when I met you that time and, the picture and...
But I've had the flip. I was at a family do and my cousin went, Melv, I'm upset with you, I was like, bro, what's up? He goes, I was at a festival and you blanked me. And I was like, bro, I must have been drunk. And he was like, serious? I said, yeah. He was really upset. And I apologized and I apologized again. And that was my cousin. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I'm always very, very aware. But you can't please everyone. Yeah. And sometimes there must be people watching this now going, he's chatting some rubbish, Because I saw him the other day, he didn't say nothing to me. Like, do you know what I mean? There's gonna be people who say that and it's either maybe I haven't clocked it or whatever, but generally if I can make time for people, I always do.
Because outside of comedy as well, like you've got, done bits of acting and stuff. You've delved into a lot of stuff where, radio, you're a personality, you've gone into reality shows, you've done acting. You're very passionate about people behind the camera as well. I always wondered why you never got into stand-up, because it feels like you're the perfect person for stand-up. Do you know what I mean? Like the way you can tell a story.
We did a show years ago, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Ramesh, I went to a gig, I can't remember what it was, it might have been Prince or something, at Coco. And Ramesh came out and we were walking home and he goes, Melv, you're funny, bro. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he goes, why don't you do stand-up, same as you? And I was like, I don't know, Rom. And he goes, if you want, we'll take some time out and I will try and teach you like the basics of comedy. Till this day, I regret taking the time to sit with him because I just thought, do you know what it is? Because I was like, we're on a breakfast show now. So people are expecting me to be a certain level of good. Yeah. So I can't imagine going on a stage and telling a story and someone not laughing. That would kill me. Yes. And I don't have to worry about people not laughing on radio because I can't see them.
Because you can't see them,
right? Yeah. And I think...
But that's kind of what you need, though, is to have the confidence to be like, I know this is funny.
True, you're right. But I feel like there's almost like more of an expectation if you already have a profile.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't just Melvin, who's no one's never heard of in this comedy club. I'm Melvin, who's doing a breakfast show with Ricky and Charlie.
Yeah.
Which is doing well. So
see.
if I did it and then it was shit, I'd be like, well, he's not that funny. Maybe it's the other two are the funny ones and he's just there as a little tap.
Yeah,
so I was always like, and you're in your head with these things. But I always do regret not spending that time with Romesh. And now we're all in the same building. I actually said the story to him the other day and he goes, yeah, Melv, why don't you take me up on the offer? And I was like, I don't know. I said, I just felt embarrassed about it. And it's always one day, if I have time, I will write down some funny stories and I will go to a club that no one knows about in the UK and I'll just test it. And it won't even be because of it's going to be a new career thing. It will just be to see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Because I do think I'm a person who loves, like I've come to your shows a million times, I'm a person who loves the art of stand-up.
Yeah.
I used to go to Kojo's comedy clubs on a Sunday night.
Wine bar,
oh my God. Like Chappelle, one of my... Ricky Gervais, like all day long I could sit here and talk about my favourite comedians. I love the art of comedy. But I do think
you definitely have all the ingredients to be a
But I wouldn't want to... It would kill me, Mo, to say a joke. I almost feel like comedians are superheroes because if a joke doesn't land, you lot don't give a shit.
Yeah, but you have to put that ego aside. I think that's the thing with stand-up is knowing that I know it's like we're talking about. I know my sauce is fantastic. But if you taste this, you're going to like it straight away or not. If you sit there and go, yeah, but yeah. And you have to be the same with stand-up in a sense of like, this is going to be the best thing you've ever heard. It's going to make you laugh. Some will laugh more than others, but all I need is the laugh. And as long as I get that, then it's all right. And the beautiful thing with stand-up is 9 times out of 10, even if one person laughs, especially when you're starting off, you're like, all right, cool. That guy really liked it. No one else liked it, but big up you. Bro, I had a show the other day, yeah, at the O2, right? And there's 17,000 people there all laughing, boom, boom, boom. There was one guy sitting at the front on the left having the time of his life, bruv. Bruv, I got home, I was shattered. I couldn't stop thinking of this guy. Everything I was saying, I'd never forget, white guy had a cap on, sitting at the front. He was, bro, I was like, I know I'm doing well, because this man here, in front of everyone, he was having the time. And that sometimes as a comedian is like, that's what you do it for. Of course, I love what I get to do, but bro, when I could never forget it. I know, brother, this guy was slapping his thigh. He kept putting his hands in the air. I said, Rob, these jokes are hitting.
Are premium.
They're hitting this man's soul.
So you know that what you just said?
Yeah.
There was a time I went to Kojo's. Hawks, right? And I can't remember the comedian. It's so bad. But he was American.
Yeah.
And me and my friend Darren were sitting and we were crying at this guy. And so we were that guy for him. Because no one else was he had finished the joke, but we were still laughing at the one 3 hits before. And that feeling of when a joke you can't stop laughing
it's the
best. It's the best
feeling, man.
It is the best. But yeah, that's why I really admire comedians, because to go into a room, I do think, I think it goes back to being vulnerable again. To go into a room and be like, right, I'm going to tell you some stuff about me.
Yeah.
And I hope you laugh.
Yeah, literally, that's it.
That's it.
But you get so numb to if it doesn't work. Don't get me wrong, because you get another chance of, you'd be like, all right, it weren't my day today. Maybe I didn't do it right. It was the timing. And maybe the audience just weren't in the best place. Could have been the person that went up before me, kind of set the vibe of. There's so many things where, and there are also myself, where I'm like, maybe it's just not funny, and that's okay. But knowing I've got another thing, and I've got another thing, and I feel like your career is amazing in the sense of you literally have been so front-facing for everything you've done on shows that are so exposing that I'm sitting there being like, yeah, I could, stop comedy. But I would never do Strictly. I never do I'm Celeb. I'm like, to dance in front of people. And I've done a little bit of it on television, yeah? but being judged and then what this week we're changing it. Bro, allow it. I just got this one.
But do you know why I got into this? Is because I like the idea of every day being different.
Yeah.
When I did work experience as a kid, my uncle, sadly he's passed away now, Uncle David, big up Uncle David. He got me a job in an insurance brokers. And I'd go in every day and they'd make me file.
Yeah.
Then I'll sit at my desk. Then I'll go to my lunch, same time every day. I'll have pretty much the same thing every day. I'll take the same bus home and then I'll come back again, same suit. And it was the same thing every day. And what that taught me was I never want to work in an office. Me, Melvin Odoom, never wants to work in an office.
Yeah, most definitely.
I want to do something that's different. And so then when although Strictly is scary, although the jungle's scary, although sometimes if you have a guest that makes you nervous or shy, it's a different thing every day.
Yeah.
And I love that. I like the difference.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because I'm also a guy that if I'm really good at something and you change it, so like if someone comes and goes, Melvin, you know we've been doing this for Radio 1 for the last few years, we're going to start doing this. I'm always the first to complain. Ricky and Charlie are always chill.
Yeah.
I'm always like, yeah, but I push up this fader. Why do you have to tell me I've got to do this one now?
Yeah.
Like I'm always the one to complain. But really and truly, I quite like the difference.
Yeah, man. But the way you can just, you start off in, doing kids television to then radio, but not just any radio. We're talking breakfast radio. This is, anyone listening, man, as much as it sounds easy, it's so hard.
But this is what I'm saying. My life has been loads of really fortunate accidents. So the kids' TV only happened because I was really trying to be as cool as Richard.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, I want to do music TV. And obviously no one knows who we are. So who's going to employ me to be on MTV or Kiss or whatever or for music, right?
Yeah.
So I went back to university and I spoke to my lecturer. And it's a woman called Anne Kay. And she was like, Melvin, how's everything going after uni? I said, I can't find a job, I was working in a youth club and they were really cool and the kids were fun, but I can't get into anything. And she goes, well, look, Melvin, you studied radio, right?
Yeah.
I said, yeah. She goes, and where are you working now? I said, I'm working in a youth club. She goes, okay, so you've done radio, so broadcasting, and you're working with kids. Do the kids like you? I said, yeah. She goes, okay, cool. Why don't you try kids TV? That's what she said. And then at the time, my friend Chanel was working at CBBC. And so she called me up. And usually I would have gone, well, I don't really want to do kids TV. But because I spoke to my lecturer, she goes, and I was thinking, okay, let me give it a chance. And because when my friend called me up, she goes, there's no money in this. You're just going to turn up. She goes, you'll be able to see how things work. You can maybe meet a producer. And there's free food. I heard free food and I heard a free cab. Right? So I said, okay, I'll be there on Saturday or Sunday. So that was an accident. And so my gran used to say, Melv, whatever you do it to the best of your ability. So the producer went, when you go, I want you to dress up in this animal suit. I can't even remember, maybe in a shark or something, whatever. And he was like, I want you to start dancing when we give you the cue. I didn't even know why I was doing it, Mo. I can't tell you till this day.
Yeah.
But I went and I gave him every move. The running man, the shuffles. I was doing the robot. And everyone, I remember looking through this costume and everyone on set was laughing. Cameraman was busting up. Dick and Dom were laughing. The kids were laughing. And I came off set and the producer came down and went, that was really funny. Do you want to come back next week? And I was like, okay. And then it became an ongoing thing. Then they started paying me.
Yeah.
Then they started showing my face. So then these are all little accidents. Then it just grew into this bigger thing. So then while I was doing kids TV, I was doing production with Ricky at One Extra. So then I was always in and around it and constantly always picking my favourite bits from everyone. Yeah. Taking bits from Rampage, from Ace and Viz, from Jason and Yare. Oh, I quite like how they do that. I like how they do that. I don't like how they do that. And then we make it our own.
Yeah. You're so talented in a way that's just like, I know what this industry is like in a sense of I've not done it that long.
Right.
But to go and then go from that to this, apply yourself, you're unapologetically yourself. Yeah, you don't really care of like, but I've got to be cool. And
for years, I was battling to try and be the cool person. And I can't remember when I realised it. I realised I'm not the cool kid. And then also, no one wants me to be the cool kid. People like it when I'm the buffoon. People like it when I'm the butt of the joke.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Cussing Melvin about his height. People, that's what they like. And I think ultimately, I'm a Leo. I just like to be liked.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. That's when I'm happiest. And so it's funny when you say that, because I think for a long, long time, I was like, do people think we're cool? Do people think I'm cool? Am I? And going back to them parties and stuff like that, certain people did embrace us. Like Reggie did embrace us, and when he had these parties, and people like Manny and loads of people did, but there were loads of people who didn't. We can chase people all day long, but actually, like you said, we've got our own source, and we've got our own thing going on, and it's about embracing that.
Yeah. It's not. You can't always be Domio. Sometimes you got to be. What's it called? Lloyd Grossman's.
Yeah, Grossman.
Yeah, them ones are banging, you know.
Can't beat
What do you mean, like tomato and basil, bruh?
No, but you're right, Mo. You're right. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, for years I tried to be the cool kid, but I've embraced not being the cool kid, man. We can't be.
Yeah,
we can't be. And actually, in a way, it's helped us to not be, because that box was already ticked off.
And also, I think after a while, if you're trying to be ultimately cool 24 hours a day, it's like, it's draining, man.
Bro.
It's not by force. Yeah. What's going on, man? Cool. Yeah. What's good, my guy? What you saying? Yeah, everything cool, man. Yeah. Chill out with all that, bro. Man, no,
yeah. It's true.
Chill out, man.
It's so true, Mo. So yeah, when that's not what we're about. And I think it's also, aside from being ourselves and personalities, we're also brands. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's about recognizing what your brand is. And like I said, what makes me and Ricky and Charlie us is that we're people's mates. People will come up to me in the street, be like, Melv, how's it going with the car?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do they know about that? I'm like, oh, sugar, I spoke about that the other day. Do you know what I mean? Like, you kind of forget. People become your friends.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean? Like, builders will shout from the rooftops, Melvin, I heard about that date. Good luck next time. You spoke to Carol Vorderman yet? Like, people chat to you like they're your brethren.
Come on.
Do you
Borders.
mean? Yeah. Lovely woman. Come on, Mo. You know this. You're thinking the same thing as well. But I saw her first.
Your ends, yeah? Because you're always like supporting youth projects, and you're big in championing diversity and representation, in media. Do you see that work as like part of your legacy in some ways? When you look at, the part of your career where, you're going to get a bit older, or you might, look at opportunities where you're like, I don't know if I want to do that one. Is that where you start to look at like what your purpose is as well,
I always try to help young people, because that was like one of our early jobs, like youth clubs, and I used to teach in Tower Hamlets College as well. And I remember chatting to you. We did a Q&A a little while ago with Nasty. We was in West London. Right?
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah,
and I was chatting to you. It was afterwards, and I said, and you said to me, Melv, I've only been doing TV for 5 years. You said that to me, and I was like, raw. That's a very short space of time, right? And what you've achieved in that space of time is insane.
Oh, thanks,
bro. It's insane. It is. People don't really recognize it, right? And so, for me, from where me and Ricky, from university to where we are now, it took ages. It was about 2 years before we even got to the BBC, and we weren't even on a mic.
Yeah,
we were behind the scenes. So when we got to Kiss, people were like, "Oh wow, you just got to Kiss," and we were like, "No, it took us ages before we got to Kiss." And even when we got to Kiss, we weren't on breakfast.
Yeah,
people forget there was loads of other little hurdles before we got to the breakfast show. It took ages, and then before we got to Radio 1, we had to do a breakfast show for 12 years. So when young people come to me, like there was a girl that come to me at Radio 1's Big Weekend the other day, and I rate her because she was like, Melvin, here's my CV, right? The CV's in my house now. I'm going to photograph it and I'm going to send it to one of the execs at Radio 1 because I rate the hustle, right? And I remember how hard it was for us to get to where we are now. So anything I can do for young people, I will try and do. I've gone back to my university multiple times. I've gone to schools in East London. I've gone to my old teacher's school, which is by Tottenham Spurs Stadium. My English teacher, she has another school. My neighbour, she works. So if I can, I'll do that. In terms of legacy, I always say to myself, I just want people to go, Melvin was really good at what he did. I liked him. Because I think if you give yourself that pressure of you have to be that ambassador for X, Y, and Z, there's too much pressure. I don't think anyone can do that. Do you know what I mean? I just want for myself, for people to go, oh, Melv, yeah, he's good at what he does.
Yeah, man.
I'll be happy with that. Yeah.
Do you know
what I mean? Anything else is a bonus.
And then when you go to Spain and then they're like, superstar!
One day. It happens in Marbella sometimes.
Yeah, see, there you go, bro.
Yeah, sometimes.
There you go, man. But listen, man, it's been a pleasure, man.
But can I just say also, Mo, you're a dude that supports so many people.
Oh, no, I feel like we have to, though, man.
But you know, but not everyone does, Mo. And I've been to shows like the O2. I love it when you bring on big comedians. And you bring on comedians who are up and coming. Oh, and there's I think that's one of the reasons why you're so successful, because you share the love.
Yeah, I feel like we have to, though, bro.
You do have to.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of people often say, oh, you don't have to, but I feel like, you know, whenever you get to these places, you want to go back to the moments where you meet, like you're saying, like that 14-year-old self. And as much as I can, oh, what's good, my guy? You're right, man. Oh, can I get some advice? I'm like, yeah, cool, walk with me, man. I'm going the same way. I want to be able to, like, when he does comedy in 4 years' time, maybe, wherever it is, I can be like, bro, come jump on, come at the creek if you want to do 10 minutes. Yeah. Or come and jump on, because I feel like what we're able to do, we're never lucky, but we are extremely blessed. Yeah. But knowing that the environment that everyone else is coming from doesn't have rich parents, doesn't have even the abilities to get to a Brit school, and stuff like this. It's just like, I know by just saying, hey man, I've got this thing, do you want to jump on? It might seem small fry for me, but I know how big that opportunity could be for someone else. So I just believe that it's just like, I don't know, for me it's always been my purpose of like, I know I'm doing this, but
it makes me happy to see you. And,
thank you, brother.
And other people like Munya, do you mean there's so many people in your arena who are doing what you're doing? Brother, it makes me so happy.
Oh no, but I feel like you guys have, you know, set a path for that when it comes to, you know, you're having a breakfast show, being apologetically yourself, and, you know, broadcasting to the nation, but showing that, like, you can be fun, you can be silly, and you can do this in the comfort of, like, yeah, I'm a black man and I'm gonna go and dance, I'm gonna go and eat some bugs on a show, but I'm still gonna be myself. And it shows that there's so many different sides to this black experience when I'm on television. I can be silly, I can be goofy, I can do my dad dancing, but essentially you guys have really, like, laid down the blueprint for a lot of us now to do that and go on a radio show, or, you know, play at a weekender which is gonna be house and dance music, and realize you're like, we started this thing, you know, when it comes to house music, you know what I mean? So it's almost a sense of like, like, you can be your authentic self in so many different spaces and not feel like, you know, for a lot of other people in the workspace that might listen to your radio show where they're like, oh, I'm going to listen to these guys, they're so fun, but when I get in the office, I've got a kind of code switch in it, you know, put on the corporate voice. But when I get back in the car, I can listen to Ricky and Melvin again and it's going to be a vibe. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But you guys have really like laid the blueprint for that. So
love, man.
No, for that, honestly, man, love, big love, man. And every time I see you, like, it's just like, we don't chat all the time, but every time I see you, it doesn't feel like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But because the thing is, I can't remember the first time I met you.
Same.
I can't actually remember.
Yes, exactly.
But it's like, bro, every time I see you, it's always cool.
Yeah, man.
And we'll say hello. We'll say, how you doing? You might ask me about a dry cleaner, and then we go about our business. But it's all love, because I know
100%, man.
You're always doing your thing and I'm always doing my thing. But I'm always here if you need me and whatever. But yeah, it's love, man. And but even honestly, thanks, man, for having me on this.
We are very proud of you and
thank you, bro.
What you have built. Like, trust me, man. Like, it's this us giving you your flowers of, like, to be able to consistently do what you've done for that amount of time, brother. Listen, I'm just new to this thing, but realizing you're like, it's not very easy. So for that, thank you for coming on the pod.
Love,
and this has been your beginning, middle, and end. Thank
love,
you very much, my brother. Love. Appreciate you, man. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Now, a lot goes into making each episode. I know you hear my voice, but there's a team behind the scenes who help make it. And if you did enjoy it, I'd really, really appreciate it if you could show the love to them by giving us 5 stars. And if you also have the time, please leave us a review. It's always appreciated, and we love reading the comments. And of course, we want to keep making it better. Thank you for listening, and have a great day. Peace.